Hey fam, I just got back from a cruise and I want to tell you about GoPort. I want to tell you about the price, my experience, some tips, the good, the bad, the indifferent about using GoPort. First of all, let's deal with the price. The price to pick me up from the hotel to the port and take me back from the port to the airport was $69.98. Now, you have to determine whether that is something that is economical for you, if you could somehow get it for cheaper. But I thought that it was a great deal considering they were picking me up directly from my hotel, taking me to the port, and right after the cruise, taking me from the port to the airport. Now, the experience is, as of this, what you would do is you would book it on the website. Once you book it on the website, you let them know if it's a round trip, if it's that you just want to go one way. Then you have to determine, are they picking you up from the airport or are they picking you up from a hotel? Now, I have a friend that she was picked up from the airport. I was picked specifically up, and another friend from my hotel. And so they would let you know that it would be between the hours of 11 and 12 that they would pick you up from either the airport or from the hotel. Now, you would have to make sure that you put your cell phone information in the reservation because they text you when you are supposed to be ready. They'll remind you, make sure you know you're ready, be ready, waiting downstairs in the lobby, or they'll remind you at the airport, make sure that you're ready and waiting. Sometimes I've heard that they can even come before 11 o'clock, so that you have to make sure that you are waiting because you do not want to get missed. And so while I was waiting in the lobby of the hotel, there was a representative that came in and they had a purple shirt, and so then they signed you in and let you know that the bus was coming. Be ready, put your stuff in one location and be ready to go when they do come. And so what was my experience aboard the bus? And so the bus was a big bus, really spacious. And so I thought that the experience was good. The driver along the way to the port would give you the information of what you were seeing and give you some nice information along the way to the port. And so he was speaking, he was engaging. It was almost like you were having a little tour while you were on your way to the port. And so now this is what you need to know. When you are getting picked up from your hotel, it's not just one bus for a hotel. Because they use those big buses, they will also pick up at other hotels as well. And so this bus picked up at several hotels before me and several hotels after me. And so it took around 45 minutes to get to the port. And when it got to the port, then obviously it had different individuals going to different cruise terminals. And so they had different individuals dropping them off at Disney, Royal Caribbean, as well as the ship that I was on, Carnival Liberty. And so I thought that the experience going to the port was seamless, and I thought that it was a great experience. I didn't have any issues with it. I thought it was smooth. I liked the ride. It was a smooth ride. There was space going forward to the port. It wasn't packed to capacity, so I loved it. I didn't have any issues with it at all. Now, coming back from the port, now, same situation. They said that they would be at the port from around 7 o'clock till disembarkation ends. And so 7 o'clock to when disembarkation ends. And so I got out of the port and the same thing happened. It was not just dropping you directly to the airport. They would pick up passengers from different ships to go to the airport. And so this time the bus was more packed. It makes sense because it depends on when your flight is. So if a lot of people have more morning flights, they will try to get onto the bus earlier. And so my bus was packed. And so it was packed to capacity. And so just like that, because it was picking up at different ships. So we got to the airport now, and so this is where it differs. And so you need to know about this. And so this is where I'm going to get into the place of the tips and the things that you need to know. And so let's go back to the point of embarkation. So I dealt with the ride from the hotel. So based upon my friend's experience riding from the airport, once she got on the airport shuttle or once she got on the bus at the airport, it was straight direct to the port. So that's different from at the hotel. They're not picking up at all these other places, because just like any airport shuttle, if you do it with a Carnival or what have you, you meet at a specific terminal. And when you meet at that specific terminal, once you get on the bus and the bus is full, you go to the port. And so this is the difference in between getting picked up at the airport or getting picked up at the hotel. Okay, so coming back now, going to the airport, let it be known, they drop you off at one location, and from this one location, it gives you access to the terminals. And you will have to find your way to these different terminals to be able to check in and get to your flight. So let's deal with the tips. So number one, because of the fact that they pick you up between 11 and 12, sometimes check in for your cruise maybe as early as 10 o'clock. If you are a person that likes to have early check-in, then doing the GoPort will not be for you. Why? Because I like early check-in, and I did not get onto my ship until almost 1:30. And so I like to check in early, be on the ship. If you're one of those individuals that like to be able to roam the ship, experience the ship, maybe have a drink in your hand, eating, just like starting your vacation early. If GoPort is your consideration, maybe you need to be able to change it to something else, at least going towards the terminal. And so therefore, my friend who took it from the airport was on the ship earlier than me. And so this is one of my other tips. And so my hotel had an airport shuttle to pick me up to the airport and to drop me off back at the airport. One of the tips would be, instead of being picked up at your hotel, is just a different step, especially if you have kids and more people in your family. Just get the shuttle to go back to the airport, and I'll have them pick you up at the airport, since it seems like it is quicker to get to the port from there. That's a tip that you need to know about. Okay, and so now coming back now, you have to realize, because of the fact that it's one terminal, my specific terminal was Terminal C, it was JetBlue. I literally saw a sign that said 22 to 27 minutes to get to my terminal. And then later on, it was 13 to 17 minutes to get to my terminal. So it took a while for me to be able to check into JetBlue. So those individuals with mobility issues, those individuals that do not like to walk a lot, depending on what your terminal is, it may not be for you to do GoPort. It was a lot. I had one piece of luggage with me, but can you consider if it were a family, if you have carriages, if you have all these different things? I had to take a tram as well to get to my terminal. So it was a lot of different things that you need to know. If you're not a walker, if you have mobility issues, maybe a cane or what have you, that it will take a long time to get to your terminal. It was a trek. And so I just need you to know you won't be dropped off at your specific terminals, right? Carnival kind of does the same things. I've been on ships sometimes where they dropped you off at a common terminal. And so it really depends. And so I think that's something that you need to specifically know about. Also, what you need to know about, when you book GoPort, they sometimes have kind of like a combo deal if you so desire. And so therefore you could get the GoPort along with the hotel. I booked the hotel separately. from GoPort. I just want to book GoPort for what it was. So what would be my consideration? Since I wanted to get to the port early, I think I would do the airport shuttle to the airport so that I can get on the shuttle earlier so I can get to the ship earlier. Now, it wouldn't be, still as early as 10 o'clock, but it still would be earlier than 1:30 in the afternoon. And so I'm so used to now getting on the ship earlier that it was kind of late for me. And so I think I would prefer to do that. I thought, because of the fact that it takes 45 minutes to get to the port each way, I thought it was economical based upon the fact you're getting kind of almost like door-to-door service with GoPort. I like that. Everything is included. Obviously, you can tip the driver if you want. All of that is based upon what you feel. So you could tip the driver a little something once you get off of the bus. But because of the fact that Uber and Lyft and these ride sharing, they fluctuate in price. So one way could be $40, $50. So it can be very expensive. And I thought that this was the best bang for the buck for me to be able to get to and back to the port. I didn't have to wait. Literally, when I went outside to go back to the airport, there was a representative there. They had your name. You gave the driver your luggage and you were able to get on the bus. They did wait. So it's not like as soon as you get on the bus, they're ready to go. They wait till they fill up to a certain amount and then they will go. And so I thought it was very convenient. I didn't have to be waiting for a cab. Sometimes the cabs drivers, they don't know where you're located and have to deal with all those issues. And so, but I would really consider it if I had mobility issues doing that. It was a trek. Terminals A and B was closer once you got there, but it was a trek to get to my specific terminal. The only other option I could think of is when they dropped you off so that you didn't have to take that trek, was to get a cab. Take a cab, a quick cab ride, and go to terminal C. That's the only other option I could think of. If there's some other buses, you really would have to do your research. So let it be known. So you really have to do your research if there's some other buses or some transportations within the airport that you can get dropped off there and then do that transportation, whether it be free or whether it be of cost. Then you'd have to do your research to do that so that you don't have to walk as much as I did to get to that terminal. So hopefully this video helps. If you have any other questions, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. And can you do me a favor in the meantime, family? Can you like, comment, and subscribe? Click on the notification bell to be informed of future posts. It will greatly help my channel. And in the meantime, happy travels.